Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a bit of breaking news for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So this is some news that dropped pretty late last night. As you guys know, the Game 5 of the NBA Finals was played last night, and the Dallas Mavericks totally routed the Boston Celtics to stave off elimination. And there were various people covering the game, and one of those people was Charles Barkley on NBA TV. And during the live broadcast, Charles Barkley took it upon himself to make a public announcement. And it was a bit of news that I think the vast majority of us were not expecting him to make. But essentially, what happened was Charles Barkley decided to announce that he was ultimately going to be retiring. Now, before we get into his comments, you guys are aware that TNT, I think Warner Brothers, lost out on his deal with the NBA. They no longer are covering the NBA. And Adam Silver's just recently announced a $76 billion deal with partners like ESPN, who's paying $2.8 billion. You have, I think NBC is paying, what are they paying? $2.6 billion. And of course you have Amazon, who's there as well. So TNT lost out, and there was a lot of chatter around this. And you heard, Charles Barkley comment on it. You heard Shaquille O'Neal comment on it. But the way Charles was talking about it, he was saying he was devastated. You know, why would they not continue with the NBA and all of that? It made it seem as if he was really interested in continuing on. So to hear him all of a sudden say that he's going to be retiring and this will be his last year, after next year that'll be his last year on television after 25 years, it sent a shockwave throughout the sports ecosystem. So those are the comments that we want to focus on today. But before we even get into what Charles Barkley had to say, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select two or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting two entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit matchup up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Charles Barkley had to say about his retirement on NBA TV, and then want to come back and react to his words. Take a listen to what Charles Barkley had to say yesterday.
Yeah, I've been thinking, guys, I want to say this because you guys are my family. I really love TNT, all the people who work here, NBA television. You guys been great to me for 24 years, and I just want to say thank you to my entire NBA family. I love you guys. You know, there's been a lot of noise around our network the last few months, and I just want to say I've talked to all the other networks, but I ain't going nowhere other than TNT. But I have made the decision myself. No matter what happens, next year is going to be my last year on television. And I just want to say thank you to my NBA family. You guys been great to me. My heart is full with joy and gratitude. But I'm going to pass the baton at the end of next year. I hope the NBA stays with TNT. But for me personally, I wanted you guys to hear from me because I'm not doing any more interviews. Don't y'all be calling me. Nobody calling me. I'm not talking about this again, but I want to tell my NBA and NBA TV and TNT family that I'm not going to another network, but I'm going to pass the baton to either Jamal Crawford or Vince Carter or or you, Steve, but next year I'm going to just retire after 25 years, and I just want to say thank you, and I wanted y'all to hear from me first.
So you heard what Charles Barkley had to say. What's my reaction to this? I think this is sad news. The reason I believe this is sad news is because I believe Charles Barkley is the best in the business that we have covering the NBA, talking about the NBA. I think he's the best. I think he's at the top of the ladder, right? I think everyone else comes second to him. The reason I say that, apart from the fact that he's a former NBA player, top 75 guy, is just the candor in which he uses when he covers the NBA. The fact that he is not afraid to call it like it is, and if it means risking a relationship with a former friend or a current NBA player, he's going to do it. A lot of people that cover sports, even if they're former athletes, they stand behind this shield, this invisible shield of, we're here to protect our brothers in the NBA. Charles Barkley doesn't abide by that code. He abides by, I'm going to tell the audience what I really think. And just because a particular player is my friend, or I'm friendly with him, or whatever, I like a particular guy, if he goes out there and has a bad performance, I'm going to call him out, regardless of our relationship. And it's cost him relationships. You can think of none bigger than the relationship that he had with Michael Jordan, where he gave his honest take on the job that Michael Jordan was doing as the former governor of the Charlotte Hornets and the people that he had around him. Michael Jordan didn't appreciate what he said, and Charles Barkley has later gone on to say that he regrets that they're no longer friends. But in that moment, you got to call it like it is. You know, he's had back and few spats with Kevin Durant, with LeBron James, with the late Kobe Bryant, right? But I think that's what makes him who he is, because most of these guys are not willing to do that. They're going to go up there and protect each other, right? And I can understand that. I can understand their thinking behind that, because they're like, well, that's what people in the media do. And to a certain extent, they are correct, because there's certain guys in media for years who refuse to call each other out by name. They have no problem calling out athletes. But Charles Barkley, I believe that's the thing that sets him apart. Then, of course, you have his other attributes, which is just his humor. Charles Barkley is flat out hilarious. He's the funniest guy we got in sport. I mean, Shannon Sharp is up there, but Charles Barkley is hilarious. I mean, he has sayings that we're still repeating to this day. Them big old women, them churros, Anthony Davis, Mr. Glad, like street clothes, like a triple single. Like, these are things that are repeated and reverberate all throughout culture. Charles Barkley is the reason for that. So to lose this voice after a year from now, in sports media, I think is going to be a big, big, big loss. And some of the people that he mentioned, though they may be qualified to fill his shoes from a technical standpoint, will they fill it the way, will they be able to do the job that Charles Barkley does? I'm not sure, because I think there's only one of him. And you have others that are good, but Charles Barkley is just unique onto himself, right? Because he's funny, but he's also likable. Obviously, there are moments and times when you disagree with him, when you don't like him, but overall, he's a funny guy. Now, I know they got Draymond Green on the show. Draymond, to me, is not really likable. He seems more like a I personally don't like him, and a lot of people don't, just because of his antics and the stuff that he says. But to me, man, I think this is a big loss, and I said, hey, we got to cover it today. It's pretty big news, and we got to give our thoughts and opinions on this. So, number one, what do you think about Charles Barkley officially announcing his retirement from TNT and sports media as a whole? Number one. And number two, now that we know that he's going to be retiring after a year, who do you think is a suitable replacement for Charles Barkley? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments, and we catch y'all on the next show. Peace.